With an increasing population, urban sprawl, and less resources available, feeding the world is a lofty task. Currently, the world consumes 1.7 times the amount of what is actually sustainable for us to continue producing. Growing your own vegetables and purchasing food locally is a great way to support the local economy, but can also save our world.
Our task was to grow vegetables in a garden, which we could utilize to make a plant-based meal. We selected lettuce and made san choy bao with vermicelli noodles and a small salad garnish.
Transporting food to local grocers travels an average distance of 2,414 kilometres before the food is consumed. But with urbanisation, usable cropland is found less, and urban sprawl means that farmers move further away to have enough land to be able to grow enough crops. If farmers grow too much crop in one go, then transport might not be able to take all the crops that need to be moved.
Food security means that everyone has a reliable source of food. With food wastage and cosmetic standards, food security is slowly declining. According to a study done by the United Nations, 1/3 of all food made for human consumption goes to waste, amounting to more than 100 billion kilograms. Cosmetic standards have made it so that only crops that are appealing to the eye can be sold, and makes it so that perfectly fine food gets rejected. These both pose a threat to food security and can result in overfarming of land.
A study was undertaken in 2014 to determine how many people consume the recommended amount of fruit and vegetables. 50% of adults and 68% of children consume the recommended amount of fruit, while only 7% of adults and 5% of children consume the recommended amount of vegetables. Most nutrients are found in fresh vegetables from the glasshouse, so growing vegetables at your home means you are less likely to consume vegetables that contain toxic additives.
Produce more food while depleting less natural resources to feed the earth sustainably. Customers find it more difficult to be educated and make ethical purchases because there is a lack of accountability in the food production and delivery sectors. The World Wildlife Fund has started to place its logo on food labels from products that are sourced ethically and are more organic than others. This helps customers to determine if they are purchasing goods that have a low environmental impact.
Original lettuce seedlings failing to grow, so we had to replant our lettuce. Most of our lettuce started around 10 to 12 centimeters in length, and the growth rate differed between the weeks due to some variable factors, such as rainfall, watering schedules, changes to the soil over the weeks it was growing, and public holidays, which caused the plants to sometimes go without water. We tried to water our lettuce as regularly as often, at least once or twice a week, so that there was a consistency in the growth.
Had dried out slightly. This could have been caused by a myriad of different elements, mainly concerning rainfall and the Easter weekend, which meant that no one was on campus for 4 days to water it. The temperature over the Easter weekend was a major factor, as temperature was in the mid-30 to 35 degree range, as opposed to the more mild temperatures leading up to the harvesting. Lettuce requires a lot of sun to grow, and overcast or rainy days may have changed the growth rates.
We then washed our lettuce and picked the leaves off the roots, selecting the best leaves to use for our bowls. While our purple lettuce would not be used as the bowl, we shredded it and used it as a salad topping. We grew a sizable amount of lettuce, and the remainder was given to some students out in the yard, and the rest was composted. So while we technically did not use all the lettuce, none of it went to landfill or was wasted entirely. During the early periods of the task, there were multiple steps to purifying the soil so that it would be fit to use. This included aerating the soil and removing harmful objects like eggshells and large rocks. We then watered it to moisten the soil for better growing. Fertilizer would later be used to further enrich the soil and increase the nutrients.
Options we had were vegetarian burgers, cold rolls, and san choy baos. However, we found that san choy baos would likely be the best as vegetarian burgers.
Because there was so much lettuce, we decided we would only use the largest lettuce pieces for our san choy bowls outside. The other lettuce was composted and given away. We started slicing lettuce into small strips, leaving larger leaves to use as a bowl, while Emily boiled the vermicelli noodles. We also sliced onions and carrots to use as a nice salad with the meal. Julia then started working on seasoning by caramelizing onion with garlic and soy sauce as added flavour. We then mixed the noodles with the seasoning and the salad before finally putting it inside the lettuce bowls. In order for us to maintain a healthy and balanced lifestyle, we as a society need to cut back on our consumption of unsustainable products. Growing your own food and starting a vegetable garden is cost-effective, a renewable source of food, and ethical. This project was an excellent learning experience as we covered topics of food security, sustainability, and we learned a lifelong lesson.